Today on the channel, we take this 8-pound prime rib roast, we smoke it for 6 hours, we slice it thin, turn it into a French dip. We end up with this guy. Let me tell you, it's delicious. Stay tuned, I'll show you how we did it. What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today on the channel, we're doing one of my favorite things. We're gonna make a French dip sandwich. So let's show you how we do that. We've got a container here. We're gonna just rough chop some celery. Some carrots that I washed. And just an onion. So, what we're doing here is we're just trying to get some flavor into our broth. So, French dip, roast beef, in this case smoked, and an au jus to dip in. So, first we're going to start with a beef broth. And then we're going to bring this guy out. So this is John Henry's Cousin Buddy's Marinade. It's got a lot of Worcestershire sauce in it and some citrus. It's got some great flavor to it. I really like it. I'll put a link down below where you can find it. And this is really going to take our marinade here, or sorry, our au jus to the next level. Now the star of the show, we've got a prime rib here, fresh cut. This is about 8 pounds. It's a 3-bone. I actually had them leave the bone on, and I'm sorry, they cut the bone off, but they tied it back on. So what we're trying to do there, what I'm trying to do here is, there's a lot of liquid in here. I don't want this sitting in the liquid. I'm trying to let it sit on top. So I've got a smaller container on there. Some of it's gonna sit in the liquid, but the bones will just help it keep it up. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it up in the smoker so it can take on as much of that smoke goodness as possible. And for this, very, very simple. I'm gonna give it some olive oil so we've got a little bit of binder. Make sure you get the olive oil over all sides of it. And the bone we're not going to really worry about because we're going to pull that off. And what we're doing is we're using some Killer Hogs AP rub. This is just salt, pepper, garlic. We're going to give it a little coating of that. And we're going to finish off with Killer Hogs steak rub. This is just a coarse ground. Gives it some good texture. Now it does have salt in it, so that's why I went light with the first one. I just like a little bit extra garlic in there. Now one of the things I like to do, if I did have the bone tied on there, take a knife and just kind of score the top so the seasoning really sticks in there. And you can be generous with this second one here. Now the great thing about this guy is this is almost 8 pounds. I'm going to slice it all up. You can throw some of it in the freezer and then just defrost it. Dip it in your au jus, put it on a sandwich, and it's good to go once again. I mean, this is just the gift that just keeps on giving, we'll say. So now that we've got this here, we're gonna just place it in our container here. And I'm going to put just a little bit extra of this just inside. Just to give it a little bit more. Now, our Yoder's sitting at 250. We're just gonna slow cook this all day long. So we're gonna put it in here. We're gonna put it on the bottom shelf. I've got both temperature probes in here, so just to keep an eye on things, we're going to put one on each end. Now remember, this is a ribeye, so it's got some chunks of fat that go through there. Just make sure that you're not getting in there. Now I've got my temp set to about 130. Totally up to you. Cook it to your preference. You know, some people will cook it to like 122, 123, and then let it come up to temperature. We're going to go to 130. My goal is to have it up to 135. I like mine, you know, pink, but more pink than red. I have a mix of oak and pecan today. I do have some mesquite in here just because I had some left in there. I just mixed it all around. I do like mesquite on beef. Maybe only 10% though. We're gonna let the other woods do the talking today. So now we just sit back and relax, let the Yoder do his job, and I'll give you an update soon. All right, so we're 5 hours in. Want to give you a quick look. Things are looking good. I did flip this 180 degrees once right now, so we're at 119 on one side, 115 on the other. Temperature's coming along nicely. What I want to do is we're going to dial this up just to kind of get some crust on the outside and just give it some of that char that we want. We're going to let this come up to 350 and just finish it at a high temperature, and then we'll let it rest and carve it up. All right, so we're 6 hours in. Darkness is here. It's winter time. It's only 5:30 and it's pitch black outside. But as you can see, got a great bark on things. We're up to temperature. We got 134 on one side, 130 on the other. So right where we want it. We're going to pull out our temperature probes. And we're going to pull this guy off. So that last hour with the temps up allowed that fat to render out a little bit. We're in really good shape. So what we want to do is we want to pull out the roast. We're going to let this guy rest for a little while. Now here we've got all these vegetables and everything. You can strain them out. All we care about is the au jus. If you want the vegetables, in this case my wife actually wants the vegetables, but typically I just throw them out. They're just there for flavor. But we're going to strain those out. We're going to let this guy sit for a little bit. All right, so we've rested for 10 minutes. We're in really good shape here. Now, in the interest of time, what I've done is I've toasted some buns. We got some Swiss cheese on there. We strained the vegetables, so we got our au jus. Now we just got to deal with this guy here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this off the plate, carve it up, separate the bone. So don't forget, in this particular case, I'm going to take a cut right here because I got two strings holding it together. And then our bone's going to come right off. So we're going to lift that up. There's our bone. Got our ribeye. Now the key here, slice this as thin as possible. I can't stress that enough. I've got a knife out here. This is going to go inside on the slicer. If you've got a meat slicer, I wouldn't even waste your time with a knife, but use a meat slicer. This thing's got a very aggressive blade, so I can kind of carve into it very, very thin. See the smoke ring on there. Juices are flowing. I think we're going to be in good shape. Now the color is going to be difficult to see in this light, but it's definitely about 135. It's definitely got some nice pink to it. All right, so we're looking good. We've got enough to work with there. We're going to move this out of the way. And like I said, this is a French dip, so we're going to take this meat, we're going to pile it up high. And that, my friends, is a sandwich that anyone is going to be happy with. The au jus on point. Sandwich is great. I'm actually one of those guys that really doesn't like soggy bread. It drives me up the wall. Very few things I'll eat that's soggy bread. But this thing, just dipping that in the au jus is mouth-watering. It's just absolutely delicious. Guaranteed you're gonna like it. Highly recommend you give it a shot. If you liked the video today, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching as always. We do videos every single weekend. I'll see you soon.